It's a proposed amendment to the Child Support Enforcement Program under Title 4D of the Social Security Act. Objectives to establish financial provisions for step parents, ensuring that if a step parent marries a parent with children, the step parent will receive compensations referred to as step parent payments, equivalent to child support payments. Additionally, if marriages end for any reason, the step parent will be entitled to step parent alimony for years they spend supporting their stepchildren. The background: under the current child support system, financial responsibilities for care of a children fails primarily on the biological parents. However, step parents often contribute significantly to the care and financial support of their stepchildren while married to the child's biological parent. This proposal aims to acknowledge the contribution by ensuring financial compensation to the step parents both during marriage and in the event of divorce or separation. The proposal: step parents' payments during marriage. When a step parent marries a biological parent who is receiving child support payments or has primarily custody of the children, the step parent will be entitled to step parent payments. These payments will be equal in the amount of the child support payments the biological parent receives from the non-custodial parent. The intent of these payments is to compensate the step parent for their role in providing financial and emotional support to the children during the marriage.
A few moments later.
So I think the long and short of it is that in a particular state now, step parents are eligible for alimony if the relationship falls apart with the spouse.
Correct.
Right? Who the spouse would be is the biological parent of the children in the relationship, but the step parent, being the step parent, is not. Right?
Correct.
So if they take if they have a hand in raising the children and providing 100% of the care for the child, the relationship comes to an end, then the step parent gets to get some money back.
Get some alimony. Like
Some
I think
alimony.
it's like 1 year for every 2 years they've been with the children.
All right. So where's this at? So can you give that? Because I think what's going to happen is that a lot of people that are watching this, particularly step parents, they're going to get excited. So, right? They especially those that the relationship didn't work out, right? And then they've divorced from their spouse.
Oh,
right.
So how'd you come up with this legal document?
Chat GPT.
Right, exactly. Because I know we spoke about this. So, but it's an interesting premise, right? Because I know enough. I know I have enough information and enough friends, male friends that have been step parents, providing 100% or a majority of the income to children that are not biologically theirs. Right. So what happens when the relationship goes off the rails? Right. It's not like it's your biological child.
You ain't got shit coming.
Where you own where the responsibility to take care of your child is your responsibility as a parent. But as a step parent, yeah, you do it because it's what's expected of you, right? It's the right thing to do. You're in a relationship, you're married to this woman or man. But if the relationship doesn't work out, should you be able to get your money back? Should you be able to reclaim some of that money that you put into supporting these children that are not biologically yours? Ergo, they're not your responsibility.
They already have that. It's called a prenuptial agreement.
Exactly. There you go.
What you mean?
A prenup. Get a prenup. Have it all written and understood before you take your vows and shit. Like, this is what happens if things go left. Prenuptial agreement. You can even get a postnuptial agreement. After you get married, you can still say, okay, this is how we're going to do things if things go left. Postnuptial agreement. It already exists.
Do most people think like that when they're dealing with stepchildren?
White people.
Yeah, white people do.
Wealthy people.
Yep, exactly. Or people that have
white people think about prenuptial agreements when they're dealing with somebody that already have children.
White people that make over $100,000 a year, yeah.
and they've acquired a fair amount of assets, and they want to protect those assets, and they're going into the relationship hoping for the best, but understanding that the worst can in fact happen.
That's gonna cause a big problem between like the younger generation, like 20s, the teenagers having kids, because at 24, right? If I had a baby and me and the girl didn't work out, and she stung me for child support at 24, and now she meets somebody else, and I gotta pay double child support. I'm the 24-year-old me. I'll be sitting in the cell with Diddy, bro. Me and Diddy be cellies like, what you in here for? Man, I done hurt both them motherfuckers.
But Mo, I got a question though. So you mentioned double child support. Why would you pay double child support? I know you paying child support
because it said that, like, say the girl I'm with has a dude, she had a husband or boyfriend, and they got kids, right? She sting him for child support. I'm with her now. I'm entitled to get child support from him too.
I see. Okay.
So it's gonna be a lot of dudes scheming on that now. Like, oh shit, I ain't gotta be a bum. Not all I gotta do is take care of some kids, and I can get some extra money. I get Section 8.
I get you.
I get the Section 8 bitch, and I get some extra change for taking care of the kids. Niggas gonna be trying to play their cards right now, but all that shit gonna backfire when that nigga like, yo, I gotta pay you and him. All right, when I catch you and him together, we gonna have a problem. I gotta pay. Now, I went from $300 a month to $600 a month, and I only make $15 an hour. Somebody getting shot.
Yeah,
somebody gonna get shot, bro, when they do that shit.
So my thing is, when I created this, I'm like, okay, maybe. Oh, Z just left.
No, he's listening here. Yeah, he's there.
Maybe this motivates people to be more responsible with their body parts.
That part.
And okay, you slip. You know that you in some shit if she decides to marry another dude, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who's the custodial parent and everything like that. Maybe this brings more responsibility for people that actually have sex, because you know the main thing that's been happening is elections about this abortion, my body, my choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as you had this kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you forgot that y'all both created this child. You know what I'm saying? This is equally that person's child too.
That's right.
But you still have this choice to destroy this child. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever perception that you have. You know what I mean? You don't know what this person actually feels about you aborting this child. You know what I mean? This cat probably saying, you know what, I really don't want to be with this chick, but I don't want to lose this child.
Do you believe in abortion restrictions, Doc? You feel like
what is abortion restrictions?
Do you feel like a woman that is pregnant should be able to go to a to some sort of clinic and terminate the pregnancy?
I think that they should both parties should be mature enough to have that discussion before that happens. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel that you're advocating that, like, you're saying that, like, if a man gets a woman pregnant and he wants to have the baby and the woman does not want to have the baby, you're saying that the man should have a say.
The man should have a say. It's their children.
What if the man gets a woman pregnant and he doesn't want the baby? Should he have a say then?
They both have a say. They both need to discuss, and they both need to come to an agreement. You know what I'm saying? It's their child, because he's going to be responsible for that child if she decides to have the child.
Yeah, because this does happen. This does happen, right? Like in the rich world, in the celebrity world, the rich world, they have non-disclosure agreements, right? Like that, you know what I'm saying? If you come to this freak off and you get pregnant or whatever, like, this is what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You do this, like, there are non-disclosure agreements where people agree that if I get pregnant, like, nah, we about to go up, I'm about to go, whatever the fuck, this is how it's gonna do. Like, I think that planning, I think that our problem as Black people in general is that we are passionate and we're emotional, right? And oftentimes we lead with passion and emotion in a romantic, stoic sort of world, right? That's not the place that we, you know what I'm saying, would have it be if we design the world that we're in. And we have these like moments of passion or whatever with partners that, you know what I'm saying, a couple weeks later, we end up passionately hating, right? And you might create a permanent circumstance out of an impermanent situation and then have to deal with that for the rest of your life.
Okay.
The issue with that, I think, from a Black American perspective, is we don't have the village to catch the babies when the parents aren't ready to raise them, right? So you have a bunch of under-resourced youth that also don't necessarily have like active parents and that sort of thing, right? So if society is at a point where our village is at the point that it can catch the babies that parents don't want or aren't ready for or aren't prepared for, then I'm super pro-life, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just another soldier or whatever. That's just another, young lady that's going to be a formidable woman at some point.
Right.
But I'm not for telling under-resourced people that are having sex that, yo, if you have this baby, now you have this responsibility to raise this human being when you yourself don't have your own life together. Correct. I think that's improper for anybody to impose that based on the world that we live in. A lot of times, my issue with pro-lifers, man, is a lot of these people care about the baby up until the point that it's born. And then when it's born, oh, you're on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? But nobody says that about the fetus. When it's the fetus, oh my God, we have to protect the fetus and all these other things, right?
Right.
Until it's born, and then it's you know what I'm saying, labeled whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those. It's a double-edged sword for me. I am not pro-life because I don't feel as though it is my right to impose my opinion of what somebody else does in that regard. But I would be pro-life if we had a society that had the provisions to catch the babies the parents weren't prepared to raise.
We do. We do. We have a government. You could drop the baby off if you wanted to. You got pregnant. They could say you cannot kill a baby, but you still have the right to go to put that baby up for adoption if you wanted to.
Sure.
Give it to the government. Let them raise it as a toy soldier.
Right. We know how adopted babies are taken. We know how adopted babies we know how the adoption system is, man. It's terrible, right? It's like basically like it's like the junior version of the penal system, the prison system. I know, kids that were, orphans or whatever who are adults now, and they were telling me about going from house to house to house of people that are just collecting a check and the abuse that they've gone through, mental, physical, sexual, like it's very real. The adoption system is deeply flawed.
The other thing too, Z, if I could just interrupt real quick, that the other issue with that too is that, children that have to go through that and they have that instability in their life oftentimes grow up to be broken adults, and then broken adults become non-functioning adults in society, or adults that are possibly likely to repeat the cycle of what they experience. So yeah, no, I get it. Yep.
Yeah, and I agree with all of y'all when it comes to that. My thing is that the media that's being pushed out here is always about over sexualization. Like even reality shows and stuff like that, they look at each other. Oh man, you look like this. Oh my God, he's my dream boyfriend. Let's fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Let's fuck. It is like, so like sex is not about fucking and having fun. Sex is about having children.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? You knew what the fuck you were doing when you were fucking. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you decided, I want to hit it raw. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though they gave you an opportunity to put a condom on. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, to prevent diseases or prevent spreading diseases or prevent actually conceiving a child, you make these decisions. Y'all made that decisions by yourselves. It's not like, unless it's rape. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's the sexual assault of rape or like something that's really is going to be damaging to you if you have this child and it's being discussed, then that's a consideration of that. But the lack of responsibility of human beings right now with this huge sexual revolution, which is a trap, you know what I'm saying, to like make money off of people in different areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes like back to the dynamic of my body, my choice, and the child, and when it comes to this, either the unborn kid or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like it's y'all baby. You know what I mean? It's not just your baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when people have, when they finally like they have the child, automatically the woman's like, this my baby. No, nigga, it's y'all baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have equal rights to talk about the child. Just because you conceived it, don't mean that I don't have the right. That's the fucking problem.
Well,
You know
I mean, they conceived the child together. You mean just because she carried it?
she
right?
carried it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Okay.
it's automatically, that's my baby.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time I see more people that have children and be all together when they have the child and they dealing with the aesthetics of having a baby. And as soon as the baby comes, they split up.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Stop having babies, and you know that the purpose of you having sex, you know that the prescribed time before your period and after the period is when you're going to be ovulating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Yeah.
And then everything will be all right. It shouldn't be a fucking discussion. It shouldn't be a fucking discussion of fucking abortion. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right.
If
There's
you-
definitely a root cause to it. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a cost to that. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? So now we're having this argument about, you know what I'm saying, abortion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, stop
Yeah.
fucking.
I think they doing that shit like with that abortion shit because the same reason they let all the people come in on the border. After COVID, a lot of people died. A lot of people can't have kids. A lot of people fertility rates went down. Right? Without no people, it's no money for the government. So they allowed those people to come over here because they know they're gonna work and spend the money here. They want people not to kill the babies because we won't have an army to fight for the country if we don't have no babies. So they it's like a double-edged sword with it. Like they want to have control, but they also don't want to say the real reason that if you look at America, right, between the blacks and the whites, right, every other nationality is popping way more than us. They popping out more kids. They coming over here in droves. You dig what I'm saying? So our rate of people, especially white people, is lowering. So they don't want them to kill their babies. They don't want to give you the right to kill the baby. They need the baby here because if the baby here, right, a dead baby can't produce no money in the system. A baby in the system, whether it's on welfare, whether the mother got to work and spend money on taxes, go shopping, buy food, clothes, they got to spend money in the system. So the babies, the baby is the biggest expense in the world coming into the world. So if we got less babies, we got less money going into the system. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So they want more babies so we could have a bigger army, I guess. More people in the system paying taxes, more people going to jail, more people on welfare, more people having to work harder to pay for a child. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the reason why they like, nah, we don't want you to kill the babies. We need the baby. We need the babies here so we could get money off of the babies because this is a catalyst system. You're born into cattle. You're born as cattle.
But that's the reason why I came up with the whole dynamic of the step parent shit, because there's so many people that's not being responsible for their children. They splitting up and it's creating these segmented families and stuff. And when the step parents gets it involved, like, you know what I mean, I come as the package, you know what I'm saying, and they accept this package when they're actually in a polyamorous relationship. You know what I mean? Technically. They're in a polyamorous relationship. You know what I'm saying? They could have to deal with different men and stuff like that. And they accept that shit. But at the end of the day and stuff, if the girl gets married and shit, who's going to walk them down the aisle, right? Is it going to be the father? I'm not talking about my situation. I'm talking about other niggas' situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be the father that walks them down. It ain't going to be the step parent that walks them down. You know what I mean? Depending.
Well, what happens though? But Ak, in this situation, what happens when the biological father is actually around? Right? Like, I know that there's a lot of
Well,
situations
the
where
way they're basing it is off the non-custodial parent.
okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
So the non-custodial parent is likely, I mean, it typically is the biological father. You know what I mean? But even being the non-custodial parent, the biological father could play a very active role in the child's life. They just are not together with the mother, right?
Absolutely.
So
But
at that point,
but in those situations though, like a lot of times, does that matter? Somebody has to pay child support to take care of the kid, right?
yeah, but if the biological father, non-custodial parent, is doing this thing and he's stepping up and accepting of his responsibilities, then he's paying child support. So there would be no reason for the step parent to shoulder that responsibility. Now, naturally, if that parent is married to the mother or the stepfather is married to the mother and they live together and the mother's biological children are there, naturally that stepfather is going to assume some financial responsibility, whether it's directly or indirectly, right?
Yeah,
but it's not
to take a lot anyway.
Huh?
Child support's not a lot anyway.
Yeah, but it's not to take the place of what the biological father is doing. So in that case, the step, if things didn't work out between the mother and the stepfather,
right,
or the new guy she's with, then the stepfather shouldn't be eligible for this step parent alimony.
Hold on, rewind that. Say that one more time.
So if the biological non-custodial parent is doing his thing,
right,
he's paying child support,
right,
and he's stepping up to his responsibilities of fatherhood to his biological kids, despite not being in the home.
You have to prove that,
right? And then the mother, right? Hold on, and then the mother married to a new man who lives in the home,
right?
And he's, by virtue of him being in the home, he's taking care of his responsibilities in the home, and naturally, shouldering some responsibilities for the child directly and indirectly because they live together, and then that relationship falls apart. I don't think he should be eligible to receive alimony because all along the biological father, non-custodial parent, has always been there. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, and I think that if it can be proven that the stepfather, the actual father, the biological father, is actually being an active father,
okay,
then that should null and void the step parent situation.
Okay. Got it.
If the stepfather ain't, the real father ain't shit, and the stepfather is taking care of these kids, you know what I'm saying? There should be some type of compensation when it comes to like even separation,
definitely,
even with that.
I agree.
And with the double payment, you know what I'm saying, which will leave niggas will never get jobs. You know what I'm saying? First of all, like, you know what I'm saying, like they gonna be taking their licenses, and how are they gonna get a job to pay for this, right? Because imagine and imagine the determination of how many kids he has with this female. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if this female had multiple children by different fathers.
Exactly. Yeah, it gets to be very convoluted, right? And it just becomes impractical too, right? Like, he's the dude that lands with her, right? And it just so happens it works out and the relationship goes the distance. And I mean, it might, she probably, let's say hypothetically, she has 4 children by 3 different men, right? And then she gets with the gets with her new guy. They get married, and the dude is the one that goes the distance with her. And all this time, he might not have his own children, but they get married. He has he has a child with her, giving her the 5th child. He's in the house, and by virtue of him being in the house, he's financially supporting all of the kids if they're his own. Right. But here's the thing, and this is worth mentioning. If the relationship doesn't work out, it falls apart, he leaves, he divorces her, right? If those children are still young, what is the likelihood of her being able to pay alimony to him?
Not even that. Like, what if she find another nigga to marry?
And that could happen. And it just becomes totally convoluted and impractical.
So,
right?
dude,
shit almost becomes a susu, right? Because what's happening is the dude is taking on the responsibility just by virtue of the law, right? That all right, well, I divorced her, right? And I'm a parent, and and I'm eligible for alimony, right? But she gets married to the new dude, and if
so null and void. I think it says it's null and void if she gets married to somebody else.
Right, but if she gets married to the new dude and she gets married again, and she's just one of these ladies that she just keeps getting married, right? This nigga, by the time in a matter of 5 years, if relationships are falling apart, one single dude could be paying as much as $2,100 or $1,500 a month just in alimony fees. Right, and alimony fees, not to mention his child support that he gotta pay for the kids that he has.
Damn, man, the stock market gonna be booming, right?
So it's an interesting premise, man, that you put together. But yeah, the shit, dudes, like to Maul's point, niggas would be unhappy. There'd be a lot of dudes in jail.
What you went here for? I done shot my baby mother and her new husband. They both suing me for child support.
Right.